Hey everybody, Iceworm here with a WWE Night of Champions 2015 recap. We started off the pre-show. Just going to go through the matches and the results really quick. The Cosmic Wasteland, Stardust, and the Ascension defeated Neville and the Lucha Dragons. It was maybe like about a 10-minute match or so. It's a pretty good match. The finish was pretty interesting because he had Neville going for the Red Arrow, and Stardust threw, I think it was Victor or Connor. I think it was Victor. Threw Victor into the corner and knocked Neville down, and then hit the Queen's crossbow to win the match. That was a decent matchup. We move into Kevin Owens and Ryback. Kevin Owens defeated Ryback, becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. This is a pretty physical match, and Kevin Owens was working over the shoulder of Ryback quite often. He threw him into the ring post, was putting in various holds and moves on the shoulder, threw into the barricade with his shoulder, things like that. Ryback went through a shell shock. He actually went for it twice, and Kevin Owens countered it each time. The second time Owens countered it, he just turned it into a roll up and got the pin. Won. On the Classic Wrestling Cast, we predicted that Kevin Owens had to win this match. We're glad to see that he won. For some reason, in one of the backstage segments, Kevin Owens was being interviewed over the quote unquote controversy over the victory, and I don't know what the hell they were talking about because there was no controversy, there was no weird finish. It was just a clean roll up. It was probably like the cleanest victory of the night. So I don't know why the WWE interviewer was saying there was controversy. I I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Maybe that'll be addressed on Raw tomorrow night. Next, we move into Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev with Summer Rae. We predicted on the podcast that Rusev was going to win. We thought Summer Rae was going to interfere on behalf of Rusev and cost Ziggler the match, possibly distract the referee when Rusev was being pinned, things like that. It turned into an even weirder finish because Ziggler ended up going into the ropes, knocking Summer Rae kind of off and into the ring. The referee then ejected Summer Rae from ringside. Summer Rae was yelling at the referee and threw one of her shoes like back toward like the entryway, and then proceeded to throw one of her shoes at the referee. It looked like the shoe missed. It hit Rusev, which distracted Rusev for Ziggler to hit the zigzag and get the win. It was just a really weird, screwed up finish, but we predicted Rusev. Ziggler won that. Next up, we went to the Dudley Boys versus the New Day. This is a pretty good match. It was the New Day. It was funny. They had Big E getting in Bubba Ray Dudley's face, telling him to go home, old man. It's our time, and things like that. The match was pretty good overall. We had predicted the Dudley Boys were going to win, and then have a feud with the New Day that would go up until maybe TLC, where the New Day would regain the titles. The Dudley Boys technically won the match because Xavier Woods got involved and started attacking the Dudley Boys. They won by disqualification, but you can't win the title on a disqualification. It was then funny because the New Day has this whole gimmick going on right now for about save the tables, which is great. They did an interview earlier where they said they were basically with save the tables, they're basically saving the world because if you save tables, you save wood. If you save wood, you save trees. If you save trees, there's more oxygen for people to breathe and things like that. But they got into the ring and became like the awesome hypocritical heels that they are. They told Xavier Woods to get the tables. They brought a table in, and of course, the Dudley Boys started fighting back, and then Xavier Woods ended up going through the table. So Dudley's win on disqualification. Next up, we had the Divas match between Charlotte and Nikki Bella, and it was if Nikki was to get disqualified or anything like that, she would lose the title to Charlotte on that stipulation. They had Nikki working over the leg of Charlotte, like a knee injury angle or a leg injury angle. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe they thought Charlotte or Nikki couldn't really work against Charlotte if she was like quote like 100% and not having some kind of injury gimmick to go off of. I'm not really sure what that was about, but they had a part where Charlotte was in a submission hold and Brie Bella and Alicia Fox were trying to pull the ropes away from Charlotte so she couldn't break the hold. And then Nikki got in their face, said, like back off because if you do that, I'll get disqualified, and I don't want to lose the title on a disqualification. This is a match where you can actually lose it on DQ. That didn't work, and then they had Nikki go to the top rope to do some kind of top rope move, jumped off at Charlotte, and Charlotte hit a midair spear, and then put the figure four on, turned it into the figure eight, and won the title. Paige was really weird in this match because after Charlotte won, um, Becky Lynch, Ric Flair, Charlotte, and Paige were all in the ring, and Paige was kind of keeping her distance from the rest of them. The rest of them were celebrating, and Paige was kind of, not really doing much. So I was thinking maybe I was kind of worried about like a Paige heel turn during the match. But if they do a Paige heel turn, maybe they'll do that tomorrow. I'm not really sure what was going on there. This is who we predicted to win this match. We predicted Charlotte would win because Nikki's broken the record, and I don't think you give Charlotte have her win the title on Raw, get it stripped from her, and then have her lose at the pay per view, and then have her lose one of her first big matches, especially since Nikki's held the title since Survivor Series. So we predicted this. Next up, we had the Wyatt family against the people are still calling it the Shield, so Ambrose and Reigns, with a mystery partner who turned out to be Chris Jericho, who ended up costing them the match technically, because it looks like Roman Reigns was going for the spear. He tagged himself in, and hit the Lion Salt, and then proceeded just to get destroyed by the Wyatt family. I don't know what they're going to do with Jericho after this, but hopefully a Jericho feud, a Ambrose Jericho feud for a while will be cool. Jericho's probably only there temporarily. He came in a year ago and worked a couple matches against Bray Wyatt, and then went back off to do his thing, do his podcasting and his band and stuff like that. But hopefully we get a couple matches with him and Dean Ambrose. That would be great. Next up, we move into John Cena versus Seth Rollins for the United States title. We predicted Cena would win in this one, and we were correct. Cena won the title, and then after hitting the AA and pinning Rollins, Rollins grabbed the U.S. title and tried to walk away. Cena chased after him and gave him an AA in the aisle, or right next to the ring on the ground. And following this up was the Seth Rollins and Sting match, and they had a whole thing going with Sheamus, where Sheamus was saying he was going to cash in tonight. They made it even look like he was part of the Authority because the promo lasted for a while. That his first promo he did, I think that was during the pre-show, and then Seth Rollins was talking to Triple H and Stephanie and was saying how he was ready for the match and went out, and then Sheamus was standing right next to them saying he was ready to cash in, and it looks like that was part of the plan. I'm not really sure. So Sting comes out, Rollins comes out, really pretty good match, one of the better matches. Sting went through a table. They had multiple finishers. Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop, kind of like an out of nowhere. Usually he has a setup where he grabs the guy, if I can get my hand, pulls his head back, tucks it, and then does a DDT. There was one of those tonight where it was just really, really quick, really instantaneous. It was pretty cool looking. And the finish ended up boiling down to Sting had Seth Rollins in the Scorpion Deathlocks. Seth Rollins actually got to the bottom rope, and then I think it was Seth Rollins actually was in the Deathlock again and turned it into a roll up and got the pin and won. Seth Rollins is celebrating, and out comes Sheamus with the Money in the Bank, possible cash in maybe. And as soon as he hits the ring, arena goes somewhat dark and flames come out. So Kane comes out, Demon Kane, not Corporate Kane, comes out with the mask on and all that. I was thinking, if the theory that we had on the podcast was Sheamus was going to cash in on Rollins and then become the new face of the Authority and have it be that Triple H and Sheamus were in cahoots the entire time and things like that. And when Kane came out and he initially chokeslammed Seth Rollins, so I thought he was maybe out there to basically guarantee Sheamus's cash-in would actually succeed. And then, after the chokeslam, Sheamus comes in the ring, tells Kane, he's like, chokeslam him again. And then Kane gets chokeslammed also. So the cash-in never happened. Overall, there was some weirdness with this pay-per-view, but overall I liked it. The two Rollins matches were great. I didn't care for the Wyatt family Shield match. The Charlotte match was pretty good. The Nikki match. Dudley's and New Day was good. Ziggler and Rusev was good for a while, but it just got weird with the finish. Kevin Owens, that was a good match, very clean win. I don't see why they were saying there was controversy behind it when there really wasn't. And the Cosmic Wasteland against the Ascent, or the Cosmic Wasteland defeated Neville and um, the Lucha Dragons. That was a decent match as well. Overall, I think Night of Champions was pretty good. I wonder what you guys thought of it. Let me know in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.